Hi everyone, I'm Lawrence.
And I'm Jared Scott.
And we're at the Break Zone, and we're bringing you a little bit of a treat in between day 1 and day 2. Day 2 hasn't started quite yet. If you were looking for the top 16 bracket, we have posted it up on the Final Fantasy TCG US page on Facebook, as well as fans. And for the deck list, I believe that Square Enix has posted it on the North America website, as well as the Facebook group, the official Facebook group for Final Fantasy as well. So we kind of saw that Kageyama took all the spoilers over in Spain.
No spoilers for us in Kansas City.
So instead, we decided to kind of share the love and take the spoilers that we were supposed to kind of use separately.
our specific Break Zone spoiler.
And kind of give you a treat.
Yep.
So just to give you a quick intro to kind of give you some background. So it's going to be Fire.
Fire cards.
Is going to be a tutor, or a searcher, whatever you want to call it. So Jared, tell me a little bit about the searchers that we've had before for Fire.
Yeah, so one of the things people have pointed out about Fire is that compared to the other elements, all the searchers in Fire are expensive and very specific. So you had Rain searches for Lawn, you have Zangan who searches for Tifa, you have Mont Blanc that searches for Marsh. It's all very specific there. They're all 4 CP. So, I mean, if you're not using the specific forward that it searches for, it's not a particularly useful card. We haven't had anything that's more broad that searches for either a category or a certain job in Fire up till this point. And we haven't had one that costs 3.
True. So hopefully you'll like this one.
And there's one that costs 3. And it's an X-Burst. So it's not quite a category 1. We're not getting like an 8 searcher. That's still going to be Renoa over an Ice, much to the chagrin of anybody who wants to play the forward Renoa. But this one searches for jobs, specifically a seed candidate. It's an important distinction that it's a seed candidate and not seed. We've actually had some cards before that search just for, or that are just seed job, and this will not count for that. So so we're looking at, we have actually a few of them that we've had up to this point, including some new ones that have been spoiled.
Hold on. Yeah, another thing I wanted to say about Selfie is that, so what's interesting is that it is a 3-cost searcher. That's an EX burst. Normally when you have something like that, we had a couple of examples like that before, like Braun is one of them, where she specifically searches for standard units, and she's an EX burst. We've also had King Tycoon that specifically searches for, no, is it King Tycoon?
Yeah, King Tycoon searches for Ferris and Lena.
Specifically, and also in the off-color. So you'd have to play like a wind, fire, water, or something like that if you wanted to go with that. And I think they was also spoiled. I think it was a 3-cost wind backup that would be able to search for standard units.
Yes, I think there's one.
Yeah, but this one's actually able to search for a job, so that's pretty nice. So let's go over some of the other cards that we know are seed candidates. First one being. Whoops.
Well, we've actually had another Selfie before, and she's actually a pretty popular card. So that's a little bit of a challenge here. Is that she's been a good 2 CP backup so far. However, if you're playing Title Series, then you can use that Selfie to search for this Selfie and just build up your backup line. So that's a thing.
Wait. Oh yeah, Title Series.
That's Title Series you can play the same one. So
whenever you go and take a selfie, you can think of whichever one you prefer.
Double selfie. It's self-ception.
Okay. All right. So next up, Zell was a seed candidate, and Zell is a 3 CP fire forward, 6,000 power, and when he attacks, choose 1 forward of cost 3 or less opponent controls. He cannot block this turn. I've never seen it used.
Yeah, it fits with the theme of Fire as far as making a certain.
I thought you were going to say that theme of Fire that I've never seen it used. I'm kidding.
Not quite. No, it fits with the theme of making it so that certain forwards can't block. However, this unfortunately can be a little too specific with him because a lot of people don't use. There's not a lot of elements currently using 2 CP forwards. Notable exceptions being things like the Thaumaturges right now in ice, or Knights in water.
Argeth.
Argeth as well.
If Golbez ever makes a comeback.
Yes, then there's those. But usually you're not too worried about making it so a 2 CP forward can't block, unless it's some of those exceptions like Knight being 10k or something. But 3 CP is a little more. That's we're seeing a lot more of
Mm.
those. The problem is that when Zell attacks, it doesn't protect himself or anybody. Well, he's the one attacking, so it doesn't protect him from larger forwards.
That's
so
true.
he can make somebody not block, and then he runs right into a 4 CP forward that wrecks
That
him.
would be a problem.
Yeah. Luckily, though, we have seen a new Zell in this set, so there, we're getting some support not just in the new selfie, but we've gotten another seed candidate version of Zell here. That one, as a reminder, has haste. It's 4K, it costs 4, and he has an auto ability when he enters the field. It's one of the choose effects where you can choose to either break a monster that costs 2 or less, or you can deal damage to an opponent's forward, or actually no, it's just any forward. If you really feel like hitting your own forward.
Opponent forward.
Let's say opponent controls, yes.
Yeah.
And you can deal a damage equal to Zell's power. Again, he's only 4K, so basically he'll do 4K when he enters, unless you do something crazy like use Kefka on him, after, and then you can go crazy with that. But he does have haste, so I mean, technically, if you just want to splash in a Kefka, you could play him at 4, make him 9, do 9K, and then attack with him.
That'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, nobody expected Kefka to be the hero that 8 needs. but anyway, so he can come in and attack. So if you want to play that selfie and then either the same turn or next turn play Zell, kind of chain that together because he does have haste, so you can come in the same turn with it. Then that's an option that's been given to us in Opus 6.
Okay. We've also had Cypher is a seed candidate if people kind of forgot about him. 3 CP is one of the versions of him with 5,000 power, and when Cypher blocks or is blocked, choose up to 2 forwards, deals them 3,000 damage. It's not quite that relevant. I haven't seen him used ever, actually.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that people might have, for funsies messed around with them when Opus 2 first came out. But I mean, he does have a natural synergy with fire. If you're using this selfie and Cypher, then you're playing lightning fire at that point. And it seems like that might be the direction that they're continuing to put the Final Fantasy VIII kind of category into. So the fact that he does damage when he blocks or is blocked, you can chain that with other things, but it's hard to do it without him dying, just like with Zell. And 3 CP for a 5K body is really rough as far as the curve expectations.
That's true. Normally 3 CP would be about 7,000 power.
Yeah, that's what you want it to be.
So this is a little bit off. Even at 8,000, I've seen people not use forwards. I mean, we're talking about there's a few out there if you want to consider that way. Was it like Archangel EV?
That one's 6K, but it can be effectively 8K the way that it works.
It's kind of like 8K. Even then, some of those are not considered in most play. Not because they're not good, it's just they don't quite fit right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did have a second version of Cypher. This one I think did see more play at the time. But usually you would see this in a mono lightning deck. He gets that great effect when Adia's in play. I mean, we talk about curve. If you can get this Cypher out with it when Adia's in play and he's 9K and haste for 3, that's actually great value. But yeah, usually that Adia is being played in a mono lightning just because her effectiveness goes way down once you've diluted away from just being mono lightning there. There is the backup Adia as well, which does not see play mostly because, again, the forward one is expected in mono lightning, and outside of mono lightning you're not really seeing people playing the 4 CP Adia backup. As a reminder, she does make it so that forwards of cost 5 or more can't block. And that used to mean that it was just really big forwards couldn't block. So your Zandes, things like that, wouldn't be able to block Cecil, which actually some people did like doing a combination there. If you play your own legendary Cecil and Adia, it makes it so he doesn't have to worry about blocking. But anyway, so that Adia at least will stay in play a little bit more. It makes you can get this Cypher out and not worry about him losing the boost and stuff. But it will also hit, by the way, that Adia will now hit more 5 CP forwards that we're seeing that are not necessarily huge, but they're ones that are more popular, like Gao and Lena, and ones that normally have kind of what I call a CP rebate when they give you something back. So they don't really effectively cost 5, but for the purposes of a card like Adia, Steiner and Setzer as well. So things like that, especially Setzer, you don't want him to die and do his dull freeze, But that being said, Adia is still cost 4, so that's a bit of a rough one there.
And this Cypher also has a special that some people thought about using against gold best decks because with No Mercy, with 3 lightning CP and a copy of itself, break all forwards of cost 2 or less. That would definitely put a damper on the Golbez's cracking plans.
Yes, be careful with No Mercy, because he literally has no mercy. It says all forwards of cost 2 or less. So, like, your Kate Sith in the corner is just going to go splat if you use No Mercy.
Like a Shadow Lord.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that Shadow Lord type effect there.
And anybody that keeps up with some of the spoilers, we've actually had another one.
Yeah, so we've also seen a Cypher spoiler so far, who is a seed candidate as well. As a reminder, he is 3 CP, he's got an X-Burst, 3k body, and his X-Burst is that when he enters the field, you can search for a Job Witch and add it to your hand. So that also works with Adia. With the Final Fantasy VIII support we're seeing in Opus 6, it's pretty likely, I would think, that we might get another Adia. We would, and then she's expected to be a witch as well. So you have that as your option, or if you really want to go 3 elements in your 8 deck, I guess, then people a lot of times I think forget that Ultimisha is also a witch, so he can search for her as well. So anyway, you can get that Cypher via this selfie, and if you wanted to try to just do a little chain there, you can go selfie into Cypher into Adia. It's not necessarily the most effective chain, right? And there's some might be some pieces that we're not seeing yet that might make that a bit better. Depending, if we got a new Adia that's not 4 CP, then maybe that's better. But we'll see how that chain plays out once we got the whole set.
All right, we're going to try to wrap it up real quick. We're going to upload this and get started real soon. So last but not least, we got Squall. He comes as a seed candidate in this version. His other versions are actually seed if you look them up. So only seed. This version is currently available to be used with the spoiled selfie. 5 ICP, 6,000 power, first strike. For each dual character opponent controls, Squall gains plus 1,000 power. And when Squall attacks, though all the backups opponent controls. So if your opponent has a lot of backups, he attacks, it gets pretty big. Also, if they tend to attack you too, Squall is going to get a little bit bigger. But one of the issues and the reasons why he wasn't played much was, well, not only is he 5,000 and under the curve at most times, is that when your opponent gets back into their turn and gets to activate all their characters, Squall is 6,000 power, which is very easy to get rid of.
Yeah, I mean, he's 5 CP. He's really expensive for as small as he gets in some situations. I think he might have been more relevant if he was just 1,000 or 2,000 power more maybe to start with. But that being said, we've seen so many new Final Fantasy VIII cards. We have not seen a new Squall yet. I would be very surprised if we did not get a new Squall that was a seed candidate. So there should be hopefully another option there in Opus 6 as far as a searcher for another Squall option, so you don't have to go for that version.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in. That was our spoiler. You know what? Let me see if I can pull it up one more time in case anybody is kind of missing that out or kind of forgot. And everybody's getting started. We're trying to rush through this a little bit as, the event's about to start in a couple minutes. So you're going to get a little quick intro of what it's going to be like. There you go. One more time with a selfie. So go ahead, have fun. We'll catch you in a couple minutes. I'm Laurent.
And I'm Jared Scott.
We're at the Break Zone, and see you in just a bit.